stop Nikhil. Today is probably one of the most chaotic days that I've had in the past 3 months. And I actually started today, it's not even like I started today like not knowing what I'm going to do. I started today not knowing which country I'm going to be traveling to. So if you've heard, I got rejected by Djibouti twice for a visa. So originally what I was planning to do was go to Djibouti and then spend some time there and then grab a flight from Djibouti to Hargeisa. So here I am. I just left straight for the airport from Harar, took another one of those shared mini buses, stopped in all the little cut trading towns, like waited for women to bargain for her vegetables while holding the entire bus up. But the thing is, I made it to Diradawa airport, took a rickshaw from the bus station to the airport, and this is the first time I actually bought an airline ticket right before departure at the airport. There's a flight from Addis to Hargeisa at around 3:30 p.m. and for me to be able to make that flight, I had to take the first flight out of the Diradawa at 12:45 heading to Addis, and so that's what I'm doing right now. If this flight leaves on time, then I should have a little bit of time to catch my next flight. I think I still have to go pick up my bags, check it back in, and then check in again for the connecting flights to Hargeisa and grab my boarding pass in Addis. So all this has to go right, and then I have to still get on that flight and then figure out what the whole visa situation is. I think I have all the pieces of documentation needed for the visa. I just you never know when policies change, when things just depend on the individual who's working at the booth and when they can give you a hard time. Let me tell you, I do not feel smart about everything that's happening around this Horn of Africa trip. Ethiopia's been a bit tough, it's been a bit alienating, not speaking the language, getting my phone stolen and the like, and then trying to figure out exactly how to get to Hargeisa, whether I need to go through Djibouti, waiting for that, getting that visa rejected twice, and then, not exactly knowing exactly how to get to Hargeisa. It's been tough. Let me give you a piece of advice. If you wanted to do the same route, what you should do is get your Somaliland visa in Addis before you leave Addis, and then go to Diradawa, check out Harar for sure, because I think that, as I've said, I think that's one of my favorite places that I've visited, and it's completely worth it despite how tough it is to access, and the only way you can get in and out is through Diradawa airport. But what I would have done is gotten my visa for Somaliland ahead of time in Addis, and then traveled to Harar and Diradawa, and then continued on that road overland, because getting to Somaliland is only another 5 or 6 hours by road, and doing it by road with the shared minibuses is going to be more of an adventure, more interesting, you see more of the country, and it's also going to be a lot cheaper than flying into Hargeisa, because flying into Hargeisa is really, really expensive. Figuring out my choices, looking through my options, assessing what I exactly want to do and what I'm comfortable doing at this point has been very, very stressful and led to many almost internal panic attacks and heart attacks. So I'm hoping everything will just go smoothly, because there's still so much up in the air. Wish me luck, and I hope that by this evening around 6 p.m. or so, I'm in my hotel in Hargeisa. Somaliland, and it was a lot easier to get a visa on arrival than I expected. You show up, you pay your $60, and then you just need to have proof that you're going to leave, which I obviously am, and then have your hotel booked, and that's about it. It's probably like the best welcoming into a country I've gotten. The immigration authorities were so welcoming. but I just got a taxi from the airport. They have these branded airport taxis, but they claim to cost $20 and they'll give you a receipt for it. I initially started bargaining in Arabic, but it got down to like 15 or in like even to 10, but then eventually went back up to 20 for some reason. And at this point, as I mentioned before, I just want to get to the hotel. I'm staying at Damal Hotel, which is right in the heart of the downtown area, but still should have all the nice amenities. So I can chill for a little bit, but still be in the center of things and get an exposure to everything that Hargeisa has to offer. Hello everyone from my hotel room here in Hargeisa, the capital of a very autonomous part of Somalia called Somaliland. For all intents and purposes, it basically functions like its own country. However, it's just not its own country because the international community still does not recognize it as being separate from the rest of Somalia. But the thing is that this was the part of Somalia which was colonized by the British. It has a different history. It evolved differently into the modern day, and that's something we're going to take a look at. And it's very safe as far as Somalia goes. For the moment, I can already tell that my battery is running a bit low. I know it has probably been since Zanzibar when I took a little break for myself to just do nothing, give myself a weekend, in the same way that you feel exhausted on like a Friday evening because you've been just going at it all week. That's kind of like what I feel like right now. And I think when I woke up this morning, that's what my body was telling me, that the battery is low, like you need to take some time to refuel, recharge, reset. And it's been over a month since I've done that. And especially the past 10 days in Ethiopia, there's been a lot going on, moving around the country every 2 days, flights here and there. And, just like flying around Ethiopia is tough. So it's just a lot of chaos. And I think I'm a bit exhausted right now. But this is our last stop on the African continent, so I want to give it my all. And it's so interesting because I see Arabic everywhere. I see, obviously, Somali everywhere. I see English a lot here too. And I'm just like looking at Google Maps and there's Yemeni restaurants all over. And it's just a mix of all these cultural facets that I'm so intrigued by. We've got the Middle East, we've got the southern Arabian Peninsula, Yemen, we've got sub-Saharan Africa, we've got North Africa, not too far away, we've got Ethiopia, and all these cultures are playing such a grand influence on Somalia. But with that, I think if I don't show up for the next day, I might just be taking a little break, a little breather from the vlogging and just be literally doing nothing for a day. I think I've got 3 days here in Hargeisa, so definitely we've got some time to work in a little breather. But I will see you, I don't know, tomorrow or the day after. Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of Nonstop Nick Hill from the center of Hargeisa, the capital of Somaliland. What better place to start our series here in Somaliland than here at the War Memorial, which commemorates the war between Somalia, the country that you all know and have heard of, and Somaliland, the independent nation which is unrecognized by the rest of the world but still holds its democratic elections and runs its own affairs and has a very unique identity to Somalia. You even see they have a red, white, and green flag as opposed to the white and blue flag for Somalia. But this memorial commemorates that time on May 18, 1991, when Somaliland declared its independence from federal Somalia. So you might consider this to be the heart of Hargeisa because you've got the War Memorial here, you've got one of the most prominent companies, Telesom, which is a telecommunications company where I just went and bought my SIM card with some data, so I have my internet access while I'm traveling around Somaliland. Their offices is right here. We've got a main street full of restaurants and businesses over here, and my hotel is right back there. In the same building as my hotel, you've also got the Habshil Bank building, and that's really a prominent business here because because there's about $1 billion of remittances which come into Somalia every year, and about half of those remittances make their way here to Somaliland as opposed to federal Somalia, and about 2/3 of all those remittances are handled by this one bank, the Hargeisa. So you see the Hargeisa everywhere. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but you see it everywhere, and it really forms a backbone of the economy here in Somaliland. So I'm just walking around. Sometimes people will come up to you and talk to you, and everyone will typically approach you in English. Of course, it was a British colony, so everybody, if they're educated, has some working knowledge of English. And you know that if you need to get around with people outside of Somalia, you need to be able to speak English. But at the same time, with the civil war going on and everything, so many people here have spent so much time in English-speaking countries, whether it's the US, the UK, other places in East Africa have huge Somali populations. So people have some sort of general working knowledge of English, and it's one of the three languages that people learn here. Obviously, Somali is the native language, and then everyone is mandated to learn Arabic in school. They sort of move in and out of Arabic and use some of like the loan words and some of the numbers and some of the other like basic vocabulary. But sometimes the funny thing is I'll hear people just like say a whole sentence in Arabic and they'll switch back to Somali, and I don't know if I can do that because I don't know how exactly how that code switching works. But if I were to just speak all in Arabic, I don't know if it would go over well. Additionally, if you're an American and bringing in dollars, it's pretty easy to get around here. Actually, it's preferred to get around here just using USD. Pretty much all the prices at any restaurant or anywhere of value is going to be listed in USD. All transactions are capable of being done in USD. So it's kind of interesting. That's because like the local Somaliland shilling exchanges at about almost 8,500 to 1 USD, so you're going to need a big wad of local currency to really make any sort of purchases here. But what gives me anxiety is that seeing people carry around huge wads of $100 bills, thousands and thousands of dollars for a particular transaction, all in cash, because I guess Somaliland isn't really part of the international banking system, so it's not really convenient for any of the credit card transactions. So everything's done in cash, but everything's done in dollars at the same time. So I've never seen bigger stacks of $100 bills than I have here today. I was just walking around and I figured I would at least like stop in this little cafe where you can watch the street go by rather than you have to walk by the street. And I'm wearing this black shirt, and you can really see like there's just like so much dirt and dust in the air. It's like specks all over me. My glasses, like the lens of this camera. That's something I have to keep cleaning here, because you can even look at the road. Looking at the road, you can see how like dusty it is. But the great thing here is that with the diversity, I actually ordered my tea and everything in Arabic. But with the diversity here, you can see there's this restaurant here, that's a Yemeni restaurant. So that means I can get back to some sort of cuisine that isn't just injera all the time, but rice. And you don't realize how much your body has evolved into just getting used to eating rice after you've had to eat something as foreign as injera for like the last week. So I just ordered this milk tea, and the waiter asked me whether I wanted it with milk, and I'm like, yeah, with milk. But what he should have really asked me is whether I want it with sugar, because this tea is deathly sweet. I just trying to imagine how much actual sugar was dumped into this, and it's a bit scary to think about, but it's okay. I can sit here, I can sip slowly, because I don't really have anything planned for today or tomorrow or really for the day after. When I'm continuing my walk, just pops into that bookstore, Sehen Books. Really interesting. It's really well curated selection of English language titles from the US and from the UK over there. Really woke titles. It's all about, you know, social justice, technology, capitalism, indigenous stories about Somaliland as well, and how it managed to create this democratic state. I mean, that's another thing you really need if you want to create a democratic state. You need to have knowledge. You need to have people out there reading, have people out there participating in the political process, and that's exactly what's kind of happening here, remarkably. I just walked through an area with a bunch of government buildings. You can see all the ministry buildings behind me, perhaps. And the thing is, like, there are recognized countries out there with much less of a functioning government than this one. There are trash cans everywhere. There are ministries of all sorts catering to all the even like superficial, not necessary services that citizens might want. You saw that bookstore, it was beautiful. Peaceful transfer of power, democratically, elections, political participation, all the like, no conflict, relatively no crime. I mean, people locally will tell you all that is possible because everyone's Muslim here. But who knows? I really don't know why. And I'm seeking to figure out exactly how everything's working out so well here. It's starting to get really, really hot. Almost midday. So I just popped into one of these cafes on the side of the road. Got a bottle of water. I just gave them a $1 bill. And then they'll typically... I gave them a $1 bill and then they'll just typically give you the change back in the local shilling with the assumed conversion rate that $1 is about 8,500 shilling. So this was about 3,000 shilling. They'll give you like 5,000 back. To get a sense of how organized Hargeisa and probably Somaliland is, these children just got out of school and there's like a guy in a little traffic jacket trying to stop traffic so that the children can cross the street. It is burning out here. I just think I've come across the restaurant that I wanted to try. I'm not even that hungry. I don't know what it is about that Ethiopian food. It's still keeping me full and I think my body is still trying to burn that off. This is the Yemeni restaurant. Let's check it out maybe. Remember, I think like 2 days ago when I told you that I think my battery is going low and I'm feeling a bit exhausted and sore. I think that was me being sick. That was like the first initial symptoms of me falling sick, and then feeling like chills and body aches and the like. I think I must have ate something bad in Harar, the last stop in Ethiopia, and I just like completely lost appetite. Even yesterday I went to the Yemeni restaurant. The food was fine, but I could barely like eat like a good portion of it, and the guy was like you must not like the food at all. I was like, no, it's not you, it's me. But then I didn't really have any stomach issues until I got back to the room, and I just basically just stayed in the hotel room, relaxed, went to bed early, just trying to get as much rest and hydration as I can. I mean, it's the first time in these past like 3 months that I've fallen ill, so I think that's a good track record. And I think after leaving Somaliland, I can be much more considerate and aware in terms of places I eat and the type of food that I want. I think that'll be a lot easier. So I think I've made it past the worst in terms of looking after my health. But for now, it's the morning, we're just getting breakfast at the hotel, and then I think I'll head out, do another quick walk before it gets too hot in the afternoon again. Instead of walking the direction we walked yesterday towards the government buildings, we'll walk the other direction towards the downtown and the markets, and then check out that space as well. But overall, take it lightly. I'm still not feeling like I have too much of an appetite right now. So just ordered something simple, some eggs and some coffee, and then we'll see how that goes, and then do a walk around Hargeisa again, because I don't want to miss out on spending time here. There's just so much cool stuff going on, and I'm just geeking about everything culturally. Yo, I did go outside right after I spoke to you at breakfast, but I didn't really shoot anything because it was crazy busy. I thought it was a weekend because it's a Sunday, but I clearly forgot that the weekend here is probably going to be Thursday and Friday, or Friday and Saturday, or something like that, and not Sunday, because I went out and it was a lot more chaotic than I found it yesterday. And especially even on top of that, I went out towards the other side, towards the downtown market, and I did not feel like I should be vlogging there, just not knowing how to read people, not knowing how to read the culture, not knowing how to read the language literally and what's going on around me. But I did walk around. And another thing that's just so tough here is it's so dusty and sandy and just like dirt floating around in the air. Like if a car goes by, you're going to be catching a bunch of like dust in your face. And it's just not very comfortable. And on top of that, I'm already a little sick, so I'm like sneezing all the time. And I don't know. I am supposed to be checking out of the hotel and leaving Hargeisa tomorrow, but I think I'm going to stay an extra night here and maybe leave on the 31st. If I'm feeling well, then we can take a bus ride to Bedabeda. I'm really not in much of a rush. There isn't a ton to do here. Even here in Hargeisa, there aren't really any sights to see. It's just more of a shopping town. People are just hustling, doing their work, using this as a safe point of entry and exit when it comes to Somaliland. And yeah, it's just more of a residential area. There's a livestock market with camels, one of the largest in the area. But I think we've already seen a livestock market in Harar. This one just has camels in it. I don't know what the appeal really is, but if you don't see it, I don't really mind. And then there's another area, which is the money market. Obviously, with 8,500 shillings to 1 USD, these money exchangers carry around huge wads of shillings with 1,000 shilling notes. And it's just interesting to see, like, I mean, I saw it when I was walking by this morning, people carrying huge crates of shilling notes, and they're there to exchange money for you if you have USD. But other than that, there isn't really much to see here, so I don't really feel bad about lazing around. I think what's really important is I invest in myself, my health, my energy, my own abilities and happiness. I really want to go outside. It's almost like 5 p.m. right now, so the sun is going to go down. At least get some fresh air, see what it's like. If I feel comfortable, I will vlog it for you. If not, I'm sorry. I hope you get a sense from my footage earlier of what Hargeisa is like. You know, it's about Maghrib prayer time. Just like a minute ago, you could hear all the azans playing from all the different mosques. Seems like everybody's rushing to get to the mosque or to home to pray, shutting down their businesses for the moment. And I've just been walking around. You can see like how dusty these streets are. If a car goes by, it's just like complete dust in your face, and you feel the grime all over your skin. So I think everyone who's in a niqab is onto something, just covering up completely. Or else you just have to go back to the hotel and just wash it all off. I don't know if it's like a bus station or something back there, but it's complete madness. Like, it literally got surrounded by buses on all sides. That's typically what it's like walking around here. I'm just like a block away from my hotel. You can see this is like kind of like one of the market streets, and we're just right a block away from the War Memorial here as well, because at that point that War Memorial is actually an airplane from the Somali Air Force which crashed near here during the Civil War, and so I guess it's sort of being put on display as part of a memorial which is actually under renovation at the moment. I've also been vlogging without a microphone the past couple of days, just because it's mostly the microphone which attracts so much of attention. And I want to see if the audio quality is actually pretty decent without any of the extraneous objects. Because if so, this is a much easier, more convenient setup for me personally. Lets me film more content without attracting too much attention. And I'm just at the block of my hotel. Really quick outing, but hey, there's really not much to show you. So, you know, it's just more of the same: travel agencies, pharmacies, salons, a lot of tailor shops, banks, and a bunch of buses that you can get stuck around apparently. Okay, just about making it to the gate to the hotel, and there's a nice restaurant. That's where I went to go have breakfast and everything, where I ordered my lunch as well. There's a mosque in the same building. That's why everybody's sort of rushing into there right now. I'm going to take the back entrance towards the hotel. January 30th, and I'm back at the hotel restaurant having breakfast here at almost 11 a.m. And don't judge me for what I'm eating. It's just the fact that I'm even eating anything is something big at this point. I'm like slowly getting my appetite back. So I've just got some very basic pancakes with butter and Nutella here and like some black tea, just food that's very easy to digest. I'm not even like eating anything outside of the hotel, because at least the hotel, it's a very international crowd. There's gotta be nothing that will make my situation worse, which is unfortunate because I'm not eating any of the actual food that people eat here, in any of the actual surroundings that people eat in here outside. But the thing is, at least when you're in here, there's no dust, there's no dirt from the outside. It's very clean, it's calm, and you can see this food is very hygienically served with like a little plastic wrap around it and all. But yeah, I'm just gonna be eating my children's food, my pancakes with butter and Nutella. Just very easy, mild foods until I make sure that I can get better, get out of here. And hopefully I'll be good enough by tomorrow morning. I can check out of this hotel Damo in Hargeisa and then maybe head to the coastal city Berbera. And I think I'll probably check into the same hotel there as well. But at least that's the plan. We'll see if that actually goes according to plan. I'm not holding myself to it. Even if I've spent another day here, that's completely fine. Hello everyone, I just figured I'd go for another walk before Maghrib time. Take a little walk down to a little mall, and then also a restaurant where I can get some dinner, or at least take the dinner takeaway if I just want to eat it back in the room. Maybe also just try to eat somewhere that's not just the hotel restaurant. But there's another nice spot that I think that's in the mall itself, so I figured I would just go there. It's another Italian place, or at least Italian inspired cafe. Get something to drink, maybe get some more pasta again, something bland that I know I can tolerate. And I think that will be good for this evening. I think I do feel up to going to Berbera tomorrow morning. I think it should be a fast 2-hour bus ride, at least that's what all the websites tell you. So if it's going to be, so I do feel health-wise up to traveling. And then even when I'm there, I don't think there's a ton that you can do. So I think it'll be pretty chill, just at least get a view of the water, of the Indian Ocean, of the Red Sea, and then chill a little bit.